Let's make the best roasted tomato and garlic soup you've ever had in your life.
Here's how to make the best French onion soup in under an hour. Secret ingredient. So today I'm going to be showing you how I make my delicious homemade vegetable soup. Clean, peel, and slice up 2 large carrots. We're going to chop up 1 yellow onion. If it's a large one like this, I'm only using half. If you have like smaller ones, you can use a whole. Put your onions aside. Garlic. We know her, we love her, we worship her. Mince up as many cloves as your soul tells you. I'm thinking maybe half a bulb. Smash them up. Clean and slice up 2 ribs of celery. Set aside. We're gonna clean, peel, and dice up 2 potatoes. Like I always say, make sure you prep before you start cooking. That way you have everything already prepped and ready. It makes a world of difference while cooking. Our veggies are prepped and ready to go, so let's get started on the soup. Get a pan! It's a Dutch oven. Another helpful hint, if you are cooking with anything in cans, go ahead and pre-open those as well. I'm telling you, it helps. Go ahead and add a little bit of oil. Go ahead and add your onions. Let this sweat down just a little bit. Add all that delicious garlic until nice and fragrant. Now we're gonna add 2 big globs of tomato paste. Mix that in very well with your garlic and your onions. You want this to brown. Whenever you let tomato paste brown, it brings out so much more flavor. It is so much better. What I like to do is add a little bit of veggie broth. You're gonna scrape up all those burnt bits on the bottom. That is all flavor. It is going to add so much more flavor to your soup. Just let this cook for about 2 to 3 minutes. That's what you want it to look like. And add your carrots, your potatoes. You're gonna add 1 cup of corn, 1 cup of garbanzo beans or chickpeas, 2 cups of green beans or 1 whole can, and then 1 can of diced tomatoes. Mix all that together. You can totally adjust the measurements for all the vegetables. If you want more green beans, add more green beans. If you want more carrots, add more carrots. Do what works for you. Now we're gonna add about 4 cups of veggie broth. We're gonna season with some oregano, some basil, kosher salt, some Aleppo pepper or crushed red pepper, some parsley, a couple dashes of hot sauce. Give it a mix. Now we're gonna cover with the lid and let this simmer for about an hour. You already know what I'm gonna say. Clean as you go. Less mess is less stress. Trust me, we do not want the stress. Our soup is just about done, so I chopped up some spinach and we're gonna add that in. Mix that around. I'm gonna cover and just let go for about 5 more minutes. Top with a little bit of Parmesan Reggiano. And there you have it, the most delicious vegetable soup. It tastes amazing and you get your full servings of vegetables. While I was sick, all I ate was vegetable soup from a can because I had no energy at all to make anything homemade.
creamy chicken noodle soup. This is like eating a bowl of coziness and comfort. In a large pot, add 6 bone-in chicken thighs and 64 ounces of chicken broth. Bring to a boil, then turn the heat down to medium-low and cook covered for 1 hour. Then remove the chicken and add 1 large onion, 2 cups of chopped celery, 2 cups of sliced carrots, 3 cups of diced red potatoes, 5 cloves of minced garlic, chicken bouillon to taste, and your chicken thighs that have been deboned and shredded. Cook covered for about 10 more minutes or until the potatoes are fork tender, then add 2 cups of dry noodles, 1 cup of heavy cream, then fresh thyme, rosemary, and curly leaf parsley, and cook until the noodles are al dente. Follow along for more recipes and enjoy!
I'm going to show you all how to make my all-time favorite soup from culinary school. First, saute onions, carrot, and fennel with a good pinch of salt. Then add in lentils, bay leaf, cinnamon stick, and veggie broth. Bring this up to a boil, then let it simmer until the lentils are soft, about 20 minutes. Blend about 2 cups of this mixture until smooth, and then add it back into your soup. You'll get this creamy, healthy bowl of lentil soup that is so yummy.
It's Mike's Super Short Show. Today we're making a roasted garlic soup.
Squeeze those garlic heads into the pot. Blend thoroughly with an immersion blender. Top with toasted croutons and more Parmesan, and it's delicious.
And now you know because
Italian wedding soup or minestra maritata. For the polpette or meatballs, start with ground beef or pork, then grate in garlic, onion, cheese, add your breadcrumbs, eggs, parsley, salt, pepper, mix and roll. So the polpette or the meatballs are going to be pretty small because nobody wants a big meatball in their soup. Then we poach them in some boiling water for about 5 minutes and set aside. I prepped my sofrito with the mezzaluna, but you can absolutely use a food processor. For my leafy greens, I'm using escarole, chicoria, and chard. You can use spinach or kale if you'd like. Just make sure you tear them or chop them into really small pieces and give them a good rinse. Next, into the pot goes the olive oil, sofrito, fresh herbs, salt, pepper. Saute for 5, add your stock, water, bring to a boil, add all of your greens, cook till nice and tender, add your parm rind, your meatballs, and cook for 5 more. I'm out of time, but the full recipe is up on Instagram.
Tonight for supper, I made an easy butternut squash soup, and the bowl was pretty, I promise y'all, but I got kind of hungry. Let's go. Okay, so I bought a 4-pound butternut squash. I'm gonna go ahead and take the seeds out and scrape all that stringy stuff out. A spoon works really well for this part. I'm gonna coat both halves of the squash and 3 clean carrots in some olive oil. So I put the squash skin side up on a sheet pan with the carrots. I let them bake at 400 for about 35-40 minutes. We're gonna set them aside and let them cool. I'm gonna dice up a whole yellow onion and mince up 6 cloves of garlic. I got my trusted little soup pot. I'm gonna go ahead and melt 4 tablespoons of butter. So the butter melted, I tossed in those onions. I'm gonna put in some rosemary and some thyme. Season with some red pepper flakes, some garlic powder, a little bit of onion powder, and some Slappy Mama. After about 15 minutes, when those onions are soft, toss in that garlic and saute for just a couple more minutes. So we've got the onions and garlic kind of pushed off to the side. We're gonna go ahead and slice up those soft carrots. Go ahead and peel the skin off of that squash. It should come off fairly easily. Once you get it all peeled, go ahead and kind of slice it up. Now back to our soup pot, we're gonna pour in 32 ounces of vegetable broth. All right, once it starts to kind of simmer, you're gonna go ahead and take all of those herbs out. Then you're gonna add in your carrots and then add that squash in there too. Now I like to use my immersion blender for this part, but you can take it out and dump it in a regular blender or a food processor if that's what you want. And that's it, you just blend it till you get it where you want it. I like mine mostly smooth with a little bit of texture. I like to pour just a little bit of heavy cream into mine. So I like my soup with just a little bit of crunch, so I add roasted pumpkin seeds and crispy sage. Now, I don't need y'all coming on here being couillon about me eating some soup in July. If you don't like it, find something else to eat. Soup makes my heart happy, so I'm gonna do it.
Soups are incredibly underrated for weight loss. I'm going to show you one of my favorite go-to soups that's going to help you feel satiated when you're trying to lose weight and calories get difficult. This is going to be some equal parts of celery. You've got equal parts of your carrot and equal parts of your onion, the base for all soups. You're also going to chop up some garlic and then we're going to slice up some lemon because that's going to go later. Basically, soups are awesome. I also threw in some I threw in some broccoli. Wow, my brain. You can throw in any vegetables you like. Really just makes it great. Here I'm going to prep some chicken. I did 3 extremely large chicken breasts cut in half. This is Italian seasoning, salt, pepper, garlic. This is the most amazing butter ever. I'm going to do half a stick into the pot. Mix that all together, get it nice and reduced, cooked down. Again, I put broccoli in there. You could add spinach, bone broth, chicken broth. You're going to add an entire can of that. Shred up your chicken, a can of cream of chicken with 2 cans of water, a cup of rice, all of your lemon slices, all your shredded chicken, and we're going to let that simmer together until the rice fully cooks. Top this with Parmesan cheese, and it's seriously the best winter, delicious, lemony, zesty, satiating, protein-packed soup. Try it out.
The most insane, delicious, healthy chicken soup. You're gonna love it. In a pot on the stove, saute 1 finely diced onion in 3 tablespoons of olive oil or any oil of choice until it's nice and translucent. Now we can sear our chicken. I'm using 4 thighs and 3 chicken breasts, but you could use any cut of meat. Season it with salt and sear for a few minutes on each side until nice and light and golden. Add in your carrots and celery that are finely diced. And now we can top it off with some pepper. Pepper is optional, but I love it. 3 finely diced garlic cloves, sear them for about a minute, and now we can add in 8 cups of hot water. Let this go on the stove for 40 minutes. Make sure it's partially covered and it's not over boiling. Once it's done, take out your chicken and you could shred that chicken, remove the bone and skin. Add in half a cup of rice and cook the rice for 15 minutes. Once your chicken is shredded, add it back in, stir everything together and garnish with parsley. Thank you for watching. Enjoy.
Hi everyone, today we're making sopa de puta, also known as soup of the whore. This soup got its name because you're supposed to be out being a puta, partying all day, and 10 minutes before your man comes home, you make him this soup, and it looks and tastes like you've been slaving at the stove all day when really the soup took you like 5 to 10 minutes to make. So we're going to start off with sauteing some onions and browning them and putting some garlic in. And once that's brown, you're going to add your tomatoes. I cut my pasta in half, y lo duro un poco. You want a little toasting, then I add 2 bottles of water. These are the spices that I use. You can screenshot them if you'd like. And you just keep adding on spices until your ancestors tell you to stop. I forgot to put this one into the picture, the caldo de res. And you want to add some garlic salt and cayenne pepper for the kick. I added 2 eggs. You only put the egg whites, not the egg yolk. Add some queso fresco, cilantro, y limon, and you're good to go.
You see these chiles? I'm going to be making a Mexican chicken tortilla soup with chile ancho and chile guajillo. When you get your chicken breast, make sure that you get the one with the bone because that's what's going to give it the flavor to your chicken broth. 3 guajillo, 1 chile ancho. Remove the chicken and add 3 large tomatoes. Vein and deseed your chiles and add them in. While the tomatoes are cooking, remove the bone from the chicken. Shred the chicken. Now let's transfer everything in the blender. Add 2 cups of the broth, garlic and onion, chicken bouillon, cumin. Grab a pot, heat up some oil, and add your chiles. Now let's simmer for 20 minutes. Now let's cut our tortillas in little thin strips for our chips. Now you cut in the middle. Let's fry them. Add your chicken. 4 more cups of the broth. Once they're golden brown, remove. I like to add chile jalapeño and cilantro, black beans, and corn. Beautiful! Add your tortillas, queso fresco, green onions, crema. Listo! And enjoy.
some of my favorite healthy recipes. Soy sauce, black vinegar, a pinch of sugar, white pepper, mixed together. Add in vegetable stock, sliced carrots, shiitake mushroom, bamboo. Let simmer for 3 to 4 minutes. Gently add in the tofu. Let simmer for another 2 to 3 minutes. Add in the sauce, 2 eggs, add in salt, white pepper, mix together. Cornstarch and water mixture, egg mixture. Let it set for around 30 seconds. Mix everything up together. Look at that.
My version of one of the most delicious Greek soups, avgolemono. Avgo means egg, lemono means lemon. Let's do this. Add all of your veggies to a big pot of water just like this. Let it come up to a boil and add in salt as well. In a separate pot, boil 3 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. You don't have to do it in a separate pot, but I do. Once they're boiled, add them in to your pot of boiling veggies and let that simmer for 45 minutes. 45 minutes later, take out the veggies and the chicken. Now add half a cup of rice and let it boil for 15 minutes. While your rice is boiling, shred your chicken. Once shredded, let's move on to this bowl. 3 eggs and 1/3 of a cup of fresh lemon juice. Whisk it together. My eggs were room temperature. This is the most important part of the recipe. This is called tempering. Begin to add your hot broth, 1 ladleful at a time, and whisk vigorously. Repeat this 8-9 times. Take your pot off the heat completely and add in that beautiful egg lemon mixture and stir it all together. Add in your shredded chicken and finely chopped fresh parsley. Stir it all together and enjoy this delicious soup.
Whether you were out last night responsibly staying hydrated or not, this ginger veggie soup is the nourishment that we all need right now. And I'm going to show you how to make it 2 different ways. We're going to get a little bit of oil going in a pot and add a chopped onion and some salt, a little bit of scallion if you have it, and a lot of ginger. The full written recipe is on my website, by the way. The link is in my bio. I added about 5 cloves of garlic and some celery and carrots. Then I added a sweet potato and started really seasoning everything. As you all know, I love my red pepper flakes, and then I added a little bit of salt and a good bit of turmeric. Gotta have lots of freshly ground black pepper, some oregano and thyme, and you can really use whatever seasonings you like. I added fresh sage and garlic powder. Don't forget that you will have to taste and add more salt later. This is about a cup of frozen cauliflower and about 3 cups of vegetable broth and 1 can of regular coconut milk. I also added a can of chickpeas and simmered it until everything was tender. Blending is optional, and I have lots of serving suggestions on my website.